Hello everyone, good morning. Today is 27th of April and welcome to the Hindu newspaper analysis. So guys, first of all, in the last few days I was not able to stream the video. The reason was that there were certain personal issues that were there. I was not able to do that. Okay, so guys, let's start with the today's newspaper analysis. Now guys, one thing I would like to tell you here is that see, as we are doing our newspaper analysis, you need to understand that on certain days, fine, there are certain articles in the Hindu newspaper that might not be exactly relevant for the CSE examination. For the exam point of view, they will not be relevant. So I will be highlighting those things onto the particular days, and please be careful on that, because the time management and saving your time, saving your resource is the most important thing in the UPSC that you should understand. So we'll be careful on this particular thing also. Now in the today's newspaper, all these are the articles that are relevant for the CSE examination. The first article, it talks about the India's designation by the USCIRF. So we will see that what is this USCIRF and what has been its stand on the India and how it will be impacting India's interest. It will be important with respect to the GS paper number 2, human rights, fine. Even into the international relations also there will be an implication. We'll see this. Fine, this article is taken from the page number 10. You can see here the page numbers from where the articles are taken. Then the second article is with respect to the free speech. Fine, now there is the reshuffling with respect to that Twitter's ownership. Okay, so we'll see that particular issue with respect to paper 2 and 3, social media and free speech. This article will be important. Then the court infrastructure has been discussed. So guys, with respect to the court infrastructure, there is an initiative that has been suggested by the Chief Justice of India, so it will be important for judicial reforms. Then on the mission Antyodaya, there is one article, so we'll see now. Basically guys, just a minute, by mistake it has been written food security here. Now mission Antyodaya, it is a convergence based program, and it will be important under GS paper number 2, governance. GS paper number 2, governance. Okay, convergence reforms, GS paper number 2, governance. Then India as a democratic superpower. Fine, so paper number 2, international issues, international relations. Then a splintered nervous center, nerve center. This article will be important under the urbanization. Fine, and then the China and India had added to the into the thermal capacity coal powered plants. So there is a report by the Global Energy Monitor that we are going to discuss in this particular article. Okay, it will be important for the environment. So guys, that is all about this particular all these articles, and now let's discuss them in detail one by one. Now before moving on, as we do in our every class, so first we'll be taking up the GS quote for the today. So today we'll take the quote from the George Orwell. Fine, he says that if liberty is to mean anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear. Clear? So guys, liberty is to tell people what they don't want to hear. Liberty is to enjoy the freedom of speech and expression, and using that freedom of speech and expression even when the others are not completely comfortable with it. Is it clear? So it is a very important quote we can use in GS paper number 2, freedom of speech and expression. Even in GS paper number 4 we can utilize it. So that is all about the GS quote, and now let's take the first article. So guys, this first article we have taken from the text and the context section. Okay, the page number is already mentioned into the index box. Now the article talks about the India's designation by the USCIRF. Now what has happened guys, this USCIRF, it is a body in the USA which have mentioned India as a country of particular concern. Why it has done that particular thing, we are going to understand, and what will be the implications, that is also we are going to understand. So guys, when we talk about the USCIRF, it stands for the United States Commission on International Religious Freedom. United States Commission on International Religious Freedom. Now this particular commission studies the situation with respect to the religious freedom that is going into the different countries, whether there is some undue persecution that is happening, whether all the dignities are being provided, whether the basic rights are being provided or not. So this particular assessment is done, and on that particular basis, the country where the track record, where the records of preserving the rights of the religious minorities are not good, those countries are designated as the country of the particular concern. Now these are those countries where the religious freedom is very much poor, Now guys, into this country of particular concern, India's name has been popped up. Now guys, the countries which are in the list of the CPC, that is the country of particular concern, there could be the targeted sanctions that can be imposed. Now the targeting sanctions means, for example, certain individuals will be banned from coming to the USA. Is it clear? There, if they have certain assets into the US, if they have some money into the US banks, that money can be frozen. So targeted sanctions can be imposed on the countries which are the countries of particular concern, particularly on specific individuals who are not, who are actually violating the religious rights. On certain entities, organization, NGOs, the sanctions can be imposed. Now guys, you need to understand that when we talk about this USCIRF, it is not an NGO, it is not a private organization, it is not a charitable trust. This particular body, it is created under the US law, that is the International Religious Freedom Act of 1998, and this body is a congressional body. It means that it is created by the Congress. Okay, it is created by the Congress, that is the Parliament of the USA, and this particular body reports directly to the President of the USA, the Secretary of the State of the USA, and the USA's Congress, and the government of the US. The President of the US can take decision on to the basis of the report that has been given by the USCIRF. Now guys, for 2020, this particular organization has included 15 countries into the list of the CPC, that is the countries of particular concern, and you can see that in these 15 countries there is a name of India, Pakistan, Burma, China, Eritrea, Iran, North Korea, Pakistan, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Tajikistan, Afghanistan, Nigeria, Syria, Vietnam. So India's name featuring into the list of such countries such as the Eritrea, North Korea, Afghanistan, Pakistan, okay, it is not a good thing. Now guys, the report has provided that the government has actually tried to systematize its ideological vision of the Hindu state, and in that capacity the minorities right has been eroded. It has also said that basically new laws have been created, number one, and secondly the existing laws have been used to persecute the minorities. For example guys, many of the state governments are coming with the anti-conversion laws where they are targeting the love jihad and all such kind of things. Now into these anti-conversion laws, what have happened, there are many times that the religious minorities have been targeted, and the earlier existing laws have also been used. And the report has mentioned that the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, UAPA, has been many a times used to target certain types of people. Now understand this particular thing, that the USCIRF, it has given its, whenever it gives a recommendation, whether it is binding on to the US government or the president, no, it is not the binding on the US government or the president. Now say, see, from the past 3 years India is featuring into this particular USCIRF list, but up till now USA had not taken any kind of stand on this particular issue. But this year the USA might take a stand. It is because of the India's position on the Ukraine war. India has not outrightly criticized the Russia. Moreover, India had not supported the USA's resolution against the Russia. So therefore the USA might take the cognizance of this particular matter this year. So guys, this is something that is there. Now you need to understand one particular thing, that actually India has promoted its soft power for so many years. India has always promoted its soft power. Now guys, soft power, it means a type of a power by which a country protrudes a distinct aura. Soft power means that basically soft power means that a country attracts the other fellow nations by its rich culture, by its heritage, by its distinct practices. Now the India's spiritualism, the culture of yoga, India's rich heritage, okay, India's vibrant democracy has all added into the concept of soft power, which was suggested by the Joseph Nye. But guys, these kind of allegations that are now coming, they might erode the soft power of India, and it is a very big tool into the India's diplomacy. So we need to be concerned on such kind of thing. That is all about this particular issue, and now we'll move to the next issue. Now here we have actually clubbed two articles. One is taken from the Hindu editorial section, buying free speech, and the other article is from the text and the context section. Fine, for free speech through paid subscriptions, Elon Musk's Twitter takeover. So guys, we'll be seeing that what has happened in this particular thing in a combined way. First of all, I will give you some of the context. So guys, the context goes like this, that what has happened recently, the CEO of the SpaceX, Tesla, Mr. Elon Musk, had bought the Twitter, had bought a stake in the Twitter, had bought a stake in the Twitter, and today he has become one of the major stakeholders into the Twitter, and he had got entry into the board of directors of the Twitter. Is it clear? So this deal has happened. Now guys, earlier this particular deal also went in some kind of problem, but now finally the Twitter's own board of director had approved this particular deal, and now Elon Musk has officially been the major stakeholder into the Twitter. Now guys, understand that first of all, when we talk about the Twitter, see, we use the Twitter, Facebook, okay, Twitter, Facebook, Google in the same sense, but you need to understand that the Twitter, it happens to be very small in the size compared to the Facebook and the Google. Today, Twitter plays an important role in creating the narrative. It plays an important role in giving the voice to the millions and billions of people around the world. But guys, even today, Twitter is struggling in finding the viable business model. See, from the very start, the Facebook as well as Google, they had a very clear strategy that they will be using the advertising as a main tool for their revenue, for their operations. They will be using the advertising, and in that particular capacity they have developed the algorithms, they have developed the systems that how they can distill the users data, and how that data can be provided to the advertisers. But Twitter has not worked on that particular capacity, and because of that the market capitalization of the Twitter is very much small. There is very much small compared to the Facebook. Now a question comes that why the Elon Musk was so interested in buying the Twitter when its advertising is, when its revenue is not that much promising, when its size is not that big. Particularly reason is that guys, the Elon Musk uses the Twitter because uses the Twitter to promote its business ventures such as the Tesla, SpaceX. Elon Musk has more than 80 million subscribers onto the Twitter, and he had promoted its brand, its enterprises through the Twitter. Moreover, guys, understand this particular thing, that when we talk about the Twitter, after the takeover, the Elon Musk has said that he wants to solve much of the problems that are plaguing around the Twitter. For example, it has been criticized that onto the Twitter there is a very big network of the bot networks which are trying to amplify the hate speech. Fine, even in India, the hate speech have been amplified through the Twitter by the bot networks. It have been found. Moreover, the Twitter, it has it is said that it has a poor content moderation. Now, into this poor content moderation, many times the genuine information it is held back and the fake informations are spreaded. Fine, here we have example of the Donald Trump who had all many times spread proved misinformation through the Twitter. That particular thing creates a sense of misinformation into the societies, okay, and it affects the real world events. So Mr. Elon Musk says that all these particular problems will be removed. He says that the Twitter will be upgraded and the bot networks will be cleared, algorithm will be made open source. Now what is and there will be a subscription service also. Now it has been said that algorithm will be made open source. It means that whenever the users are seeing particular types of tweet onto their timelines, they would be able to know that why a particular tweet has come on their timeline. Many times the bot networks, they were promoting the tweets, okay, now such kind of thing will not happen. So they will be able to see that why the tweet has featured up onto their timeline. Moreover, guys, in this particular capacity there is one more issue that is coming up in between. So the Elon Musk, he had said that he is free speech absolutist. Elon Musk says that he is free speech absolutist, okay, free speech absolutist. It means that he says that he don't want any kind of restriction onto the free speech. How much uncomfortable a free speech may be, it should be allowed. He doesn't want to have any censor onto the free speech. He is a free speech absolutist, and he says that the Twitter will also function onto that particular thing. But guys, we need to understand that many times into the name of free speech, the hate speech, okay, or the hate information, fake news might also get spread. So these particular things are to be taken care of into the due course of time. So guys, that is all about it. Moreover, understand this thing that when we talk about these social medias, they have become the virtual digital space. And it has also been mentioned that these digital spaces, they are in fact the public spaces. So how they are being governed, it is very important. So even the Elon Musk, how he will be governing this Twitter, it is important because it is a digital public space which is being used by the common public. So that is all about this particular article, and now we'll move to the next article. Efforts on to improve court infrastructure, says Chief Justice of India. Now this particular article is taken from the Hindu and will be important for GS paper number 2, judicial reforms. Now guys, understand this particular thing that what has happened the basically last year, the Chief Justice of India's office has carried a survey with respect to the basic infrastructure into the trial courts, and it has found that the trial courts are not having the basic infrastructure. Sufficient infrastructure is not there. Many of the courts, they are functioning out of the rented buildings. It has been found that there is a substantial gap in the infrastructure and the availability of the basic amenities. There are no proper court halls are not there, residential accommodation for the judges is not there, waiting rooms are not there. Fine. After that, it has also been found that the internet connectivity and the basically the e-infrastructure is also missing. Only 27% of the courtrooms into the subordinate judiciary, they have computers into the judges dais. Only 27% courtrooms have computers onto the judges dais, and around 10% of the courts, they do not have access to the proper internet facilities. So when this basic infrastructure will not be there into the courts might not be able to work productively and efficiently. Is it clear? So therefore, the Chief Justice of India has proposed that there should be a specific organization, there should be a specific body which will improve the infrastructural availability into the trial court, and the Chief Justice of India had come out with the proposal of the National Judicial Infrastructure Corporation. National Judicial National Judicial Infrastructure Corporation. Now see, this NJIC is not just a very new idea which has come. This NJIC is being promoted since last year by the CJI. Now the CJI has again repeated that this National Judicial Infrastructure Corporation can improve the infrastructural conditions into the lower courts. Moreover, he had said that the efficient judicial infrastructure is not a kind of a luxury, rather it is the precondition of providing the equal and free access to justice through a barrier free and citizen friendly environment. Is it clear? Today if you see, the basically the pendency of the cases is very much high. Fine, more than 3.75 crore cases are pending into the different courts. And why the cases are pending? Many times because the capacity is not there into the courts to deal with those cases, and in this particular capacity, this initiative is going to help. So that is all guys about it, and now we'll move to the next article. Now, this article is taken from the Hindu, the editorial section. It talks about the mission Antyodaya as it should not fall by the wayside. Now, let's discuss this particular article. It will be important in GS paper number 2, governance reforms at the into the rural areas, governance in the rural areas. Now, first of all, what is this mission Antyodaya? Let's understand. Guys, see, don't get confused with the Antyodaya households that are there. Is it clear or not? There are one types of Antyodaya households, fine, under the National Food Security Act, which are given the enhanced food allocation. Is it clear? Antyodaya are the poor of the poorest sections, poorest of the poor households under the National Food Security Act, where 35 kg of food grains is given to them. So that is different. Here we are talking about Mission Antyodaya, which is a new project, which is a mission mode project that has been started by the Ministry of the Rural Development. Now, what is this Mission Antyodaya? So guys, this Mission Antyodaya, it is a convergence and accountability framework. Now, what do we understand by this word convergence and accountability framework? Now see, guys, often there are the different schemes, different initiatives by the different ministries that are there, and all are trying to work only on one subject. For example, when we talk about the rural areas, for the rural development, there is the Ministry of Rural Development that is there, fine, which is working on many of the fronts. Then guys, basically Swachh Bharat mission rural is also there. Under the Swachh Bharat mission rural component, the basically toilets etc are being provided. Now the Swachh Bharat mission rural is being implemented by the Ministry of Jal Shakti. Then guys, there is a Jal Jeevan mission again being implemented by the Ministry of Jal Shakti, where it is being proposed that the functional household tapped water connections are to be provided to the rural areas by 2024. Then guys, basically even the Ministry of Education is running certain schools into the rural areas. So understand that for rural areas, different ministries are there, different schemes are there, clear, which are trying to promote the different kind of components. Now what is a convergence scheme? Convergence scheme is this, that there is no new money that will be given, no new component will be given, but the convergence scheme will try to streamline the efforts of all other existing programs that are there. Is it clear? A convergence schemes basically will try to bring more and more efficiency. The different schemes which are providing the same kind of thing, they will be clubbed together. Okay, and how better they can deliver, it will be looked upon. So this is the convergence and accountability framework mission Antyodaya. So under the mission Antyodaya, Ministry of Rural Development is trying to identify that how different ministries, different departments can converge with each other and can effectively provide the schemes that are there. Now guys, for the implementation of mission Antyodaya, the cluster of gram panchayats, the clusters of the gram panchayats have been selected by the states. Now these clusters of the gram panchayats, they will identify the different schemes that are there for their villages and how better in an efficient manner they can be provided. So the mission Antyodaya framework will be implemented by these gram panchayats. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that when we talk about the Indian constitution, after the coming of the 73rd and 74th constitutional amendment act, we have find this thing that the grassroots democracy has been promoted. And when we talk about the local governance, then guys, basically Indian constitution provides that the local governments should implement the economic development and social justice agenda. Economic development is to be provided into the basically local governments, and social justice is to be provided to every section of the society, irrespective of their religion, irrespective of their ethnicity. Article 243G and the Article 243W both have put a mandate onto the government that the economic development and social justice is to be provided. Now guys, in order to promote the economic development and social justice, what has happened, there are the district planning committees that are to be constituted. These district planning committees will prepare the bottom up plans, clear. There are the state finance commissions which will provide that properly the financing is to be provided to the rural areas, even to the urban local bodies. It is provided that basically the women are to be given at least 1/3 reservation into the local bodies. Scheduled caste, scheduled tribes are to be given the proper representation. All these things have come, and all these things are trying to bring the social justice, they are trying to bring the economic development. These are very good initiatives that are being suggested. But guys, at the same time, if we see into the India's decentralization plan, most of the reforms that have been mentioned, they are not properly implemented. So most of the reforms, they have been failed to get implemented. Now to implement them properly, the mission Antyodaya has come, which will effectively streamline the existing schemes. Is it clear? Now guys, understand this particular thing, that when we talk about the condition of the rural areas, I would like to point out the socio-economic caste census 2011 data. According to the socio-economic caste census 2011 data, it is provided that 90% of the rural households, they have no salaried jobs. 53.7% million households into the rural areas, they are landless. 6.89 million female headed households have no adult member support. 49% of the households, they suffer from multiple deprivations. Is it clear? Deprivation of poverty is there, they don't have proper housing. Okay, they might not be having a member who an adult member who is earning. So there are multiple deprivations in so many of the households. Now guys, when we talk about the mission Antyodaya, mission Antyodaya will help to implement the 29 subjects that have been given to the panchayats by the 11th schedule of the constitution. And the real vision of the panchayati raj institutions that was there, it might be fulfilled. Now guys, what has happened? Basically, the 29 subjects have been given to the panchayats. Now under the mission Antyodaya, on these 29 subjects, the information will be collected, that how much these subjects have been implemented, where the deficiency is there, where the good work is going on. So what will happen, all these subjects will be broken down into several parameters. All these 29 subjects that are to be given to the panchayats, they will be broken down into the several parameters, and the data will be collected by using the questionnaires. The questions will be asked from the people, the question will be asked from with the functionaries, and it will be found that how is the performance on these subjects, particularly onto the health and nutrition, social security, good governance, water management, and all these kind of things. And by identification of the data, the weak areas will be identified and the work will be done. But guys, still the mission Antyodaya, it is not completely fail proof. It is not basically, it is not like that it is not having any problem. It has been provided that actually serious effort has not been made to converge on some of important resources. For example, MG Narega, okay, National Rural Livelihood Mission, National Social Assistance Program, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, how they can be converged together on such kind of a front, the effort has not been made. Fine, this is something that has happened. Moreover guys, how to improve the transfer system? Okay, so you know this particular thing, that the states are giving money to the rural government, to the panchayats. The states are giving money for the block development, for the village development. Now these transfer systems are not efficient. So how the transfer system reforms can be brought, on that capacity the mission Antyodaya has not talked much. So this is all which is provided in this particular article. And with this we come to an end to this article. Now we'll move to the next article. Now India as a democratic superpower. India as a democratic superpower. So guys, this particular article is written by Tony Abbott, who was the Prime Minister of the Australia. Now in this particular article, he is just telling his personal experiences. Okay, he's just telling his personal experiences with respect to the policy, or with respect to the factual content. The information is not there in this particular article. Simply what he had said, he has said that India has emerged as a democratic superpower. Okay, India has not an economic superpower, not a military superpower, a democratic superpower. It says that India has the large, one of the large, third largest economy. We have a free market, we have a big tech sector, we have a big population, we have a big diaspora. So India is a thriving economy. It has been said that India has always taken the right stands. Okay, India has itself, India's independence is carried by the moral suasion, through peaceful reforms, through the satyagraha and all such kind of things. And here he says that in such a capacity, India should convince the Russia, as whatever the Russia is doing on Ukraine, it is wrong. India should convince the Russia. So this is the main message line that has been given in this particular article. Apart from that, the substance is missing, and no substantial matter is there. Fine. So that is all. Just if you want to read it, you can make a personal reading, but apart from the things that I have discussed, much issues are not here. Now this particular article, a splintered nerve center, it is taken again from the Hindu newspaper, and it is talking about the ICCC. Okay, now what are these ICCCs? ICCCs, it stands for the Integrated Command and Control Centers. Integrated Command and Control Centers, which have been developed in the 80 cities as a part of the Smart City mission. So guys, this integrated command and control center, they will be the dedicated facilities which will be collecting the data about the different utility services. For example, the water, electricity, water, for example, the water connections, the water usage, the electricity consumption, electricity usage, the transportation networks, is it clear, road networks, the traffic onto those roads. So integrated command and control center will be the dedicated facilities which will be basically analyzing the vital stats of the cities. Now guys, understand this particular thing. ICCC, it has the five basic pillars. Number one is bandwidth. So these ICCCs will be provided the state of the art connectivity, so that on the real time they can collect the data. For example, how much water is being consumed into the city at the present time. So they will be having the bandwidth, they will be having the connectivity, they will be having the capacities to collect the data. There will be the sensors. The second component will be the sensors and the edge devices. Now guys, the sensors will be helping in collecting the real time information about a large number of things. Then guys, third will be the analytics. Okay, so whatever the information will be collected, analysis will be made onto that. Okay, and then there will be the data storage capacity into these ICCCs, and then finally the ICCCs on software which will be drawing out major themes. Okay, which will be drawing out the major issues, fine, and will be providing certain insights onto many of the urban data. Now understand this particular thing, that this ICCC, it is promoting the idea of the predictive modeling. What is the predictive modeling? See, how a city will be growing. Okay, for example guys, every city over the period of time the traffic increases. So into which particular, what type of traffic is going to increase, it can tell that in which direction a city will grow and what could be the next real estate spurts, real estate hotspots, fine, where the land can become very much expensive. Clear, it can predict the accident prone spots into the city. It can predict that whether the sewage system of the city after 20 years will be sufficient or not. So basically this ICCC, it will collect the data with respect to the cities. It will analyze this particular data. Clear, it will store the data, and on that basis of data it can identify that what will be the direction of growth of that particular city. So this is a very good initiative that has been started, and it can provide much of the valuable insights. Now understand this particular thing guys, that there are certain challenges also into these ICCCs that are there. Challenge number one, see, these ICCCs, they are being executed under a special purpose vehicle. Now what is a special purpose vehicle? A special purpose vehicle is a specific, it's a dedicated company, or it is a dedicated organization that is made only for a specific, one specific purpose, and when then purpose will be over, it will be dissolved. So a special purpose, it is being implemented as a special purpose vehicle. It will be a separate initiative. Now guys, it has been found that when the SPV projects are there, they overlap, and whenever they overlap with the urban local body area, there is a friction that is there. The people who are implementing these ICCs through SPGs and the ULB officials, there might be clash between them, there might be the conflict between them, and we need to identify that how, if such friction is there, it will be resolved. So without resolving such friction, without resolving that, how the core staff of the ULB across the different departments such as the health, town planning, water, they will coordinate with these SPV personals, we cannot expect that it will be bringing much of a improvement. Second is that there could be the risk of permanent underutilization of the system. So ICCCs are being made, they will be working on data, they will be generating a lot of insights, but this system might not be properly utilized by the city's administrators, by the state governments. They might not be working on this particular data, so this will become a useless thing. Third is that there is a sizable investment, a lot of money is needed to implement this particular ICCC, to made these particular data centers. But how the money will come? Many of the cities are facing the problem, they are not even able to pay the salaries of the municipal workers. On many of the important basic things, they don't have the revenue, so how they will invest here? So this is something that is to be taken care of. So guys, if ICCCs, all these concerns are taken care of, it can become a very important and meaningful reform into the urban governance. Clear? So this is all about this particular article. Now guys, we'll be moving to the next article. China, India adds coal plants as global capacity addition dips 13%. So guys, this article, it is a report by the Global Energy Monitor. Global Energy Monitor. Now the Global Energy Monitor has surveyed the world countries and had seen that whether the coal energy is going up or it is going down. Now guys, understand that number one, that when we talk about the global coal energy scenario, there is a dip of 13%. It means that on to the global scale, the coal energy is going down. But at the same time, if we talk about the two countries, number one is the China and number number 2 is China and sorry, number 1 is China and number 2 India. Here the coal powered plants are increasing. For example, the China has led the global coal power expansion. About 25,000 megawatt of new coal powered plants are being deployed by China. And when we talk about India, India is also deploying the new coal power plants with the to the capacity of 6100 megawatt. So 6100 megawatt worth of coal powered plants are being deployed by India, and 25,000 megawatt worth of coal plants are being deployed by China. Around the world, basically the coal power is going down. This is something that has been there. Now guys, understand this particular thing, that the last month IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, had said that there is no carbon budget left for the new coal plants. We cannot build the new coal plants and we cannot afford to sequester the carbon that is emitted from these coal plants. Moreover, the IPCC has also said this particular thing, that the present coal use should fall by 75% by 2030. So when we compare the coal use at the level of 2019, it should fall 75%. But if we are making up the new coal powered plants, obviously we might not be able to achieve this particular thing. So guys, in order to limit the climate temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius, these all things are needed to be done. But guys, the China and India are adding the coal powered plants. Particularly India has the reasons also that today we need to provide the affordable energy to poor people, and for that the coal is indispensable for India. So into the short term, India might be dependent onto the coal power. So that is all about this particular article. So guys, I hope that you have understood it. Okay, so that is all for the today's newspaper analysis, and with this we come to an end to the today's newspaper analysis. So that is all. Thank you so much.